Music by the
You ready, Ian?
Let's go.
Kyle, you ready?
You know it.
Alright. I'm ready too. Let's do this.
We've been working round the clock. We ain't got the time to stop. We've been trying to find a spot just to chill, kinda feel like it gotta be the watch.
Hey. All right.
All right.
What an intro.
I don't think I nailed the hay.
Well, welcome to the first episode of The Watch Booth. Here today, I have my co-host, Kyle and Jordan. Myself, my name is Ian. Thank you for joining us today. Gentlemen, hello. How are you?
Excellent. Wasn't that so professional? He sounded so professional.
I'm good.
I almost feel like I should have a suit and tie on right now.
I mean, I listen to enough podcasts. I should be able to figure it out, right?
Oh, okay.
That's the idea, I think.
Nailed it.
Hey. So let's go around and kind of introduce ourselves. I'll start with myself because I mean, we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, so I'm Ian Cordero. I am a firefighter in New Haven. Really not much else after that. I'm a father of two, husband. I have a wonderful wife. And well, I guess I'm a lieutenant on the fire department. I guess that's something I could put on my resume. Yeah, that's exactly.
You don't want to look over that.
No, yeah, it's pretty cool. But I think that's exactly where my resume ends. There, just a tech enthusiast, love sports, go Knicks, go Niners. Yeah, and that's about it. How about you, Jordan?
Well, you just said my name, so my name's Jordan Adams. I'm a firefighter on the New Haven Fire Department. Also a part-time EMT at American Medical Response in New Haven as well. I am a father of four. I'm a husband. And then outside of this, I dibble and dabble in a little music. I have a little music career that I'm trying to get going.
Just a little.
Just a little something.
Something.
We'll get more into that. But would you like to go?
Yes. Hello, folks. I am Kyle Jones. I am also a firefighter in New Haven. And I want to say that we are all firefighters in the best station ever, Hill Station, Engine 11, Truck 2, Emergency 2. Let's go.
How can we forget?
How could we forget?
He
How
even
dare you guys?
He even added the emergency too.
Because
didn't have to do that.
that's the squad, man. It's the squad. So, I'm a firefighter in New Haven. I'm also a father of four. I am not a husband like these two lovely fellas here. Outside of work, I also dibble and dabble in fitness training. I am a personal trainer. So that's that.
You're not a husband, but you're a father of
Four.
There you go.
I said that.
Did you?
Didn't
Yeah,
I
he
say
said
that?
that.
Sorry.
I was about to say, am I having memory lapses here?
We're 5 minutes
Let me-
in and
let
I'm
me just-
already zoning
Let me
out.
just make sure his headphones are still. They good?
Check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
I think I'm all right.
All right.
Bet. So let's talk about why we're here today. Why did we get together, us three, to come together to do this podcast named The Watch Booth?
Specifically today, or just in general?
Or just in general, I guess. But yeah, we got together today.
I think we're here today because this was the day that made the most sense for us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, geez, it took a while to get to. You guys don't understand how
busy
long
lives. Busy
it took
lives.
to get to this moment here. But
It would be much easier if somebody didn't go to the first division.
yeah. See, our listeners
I'm
don't
just
even
saying.
understand what
I'm
that
just
is. So,
saying.
I mean, if you didn't leave our shift, and just trying to better yourself. Ooh.
Oh, God, so selfish.
All right.
One way.
Couldn't just hang out with us, huh? So, yeah, but that's why we're here today. It's because it just worked out. But why are we here, us three, doing this podcast?
So you guys are looking at me as if you want me to speak.
I mean, you're low key.
You weren't part of all this.
You're low
But
key
no,
star of the
it's cool.
show.
It's
So
cool.
let's
It's
go,
cool.
baby.
No.
Let's go, baby.
That's why you're in the middle of
No.
That's
I
it,
can sit
right?
on either side.
When the camera, when we look back in the camera, what does it look like?
Yeah, that's
Straight
it.
down the pocket.
I can sit on either
Co-host.
side. This is, you know what? You fought to sit on that side today.
I really
So-
wanted this side.
All right, exactly. He got an attitude. You before you were even here, he got an attitude with me about where he was sitting.
Oh,
don't,
wow.
don't worry.
I wanted to be on the other
don't
side.
worry about it. I'll make my way over there.
There was a lot of stuff. Look at it. Like how did I get around? You know, he was sitting there.
Yo, you finessed it.
I had to
But
crawl.
all right, so I guess you're gonna make me go.
Yeah.
So I said I have a little music career that I'm trying to work on, right? And so I like telling long stories, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it short. But quite some time ago, I started working on a project that I call "Real Heroes Don't Wear Capes," a frontline story. Yes, as you can see, if you could see. But so when I first started it started with a song. Who's Gonna Save Me? And then the idea just matured to a whole project. The whole project then matured to 4 projects. Working on a little series, like a limited series.
Like it became a movement.
Yeah, it just became a lot more than what it was. The project pretty much talks about, what it's like to be a first responder. Talks about, our mental health. Really, really, really focuses on mental health. Because that's a topic that's not really talked about. It's kind of like taboo in our field. We are, and I'm not going to say male dominated because the fire department is a male dominated field, but the project obviously focuses on firefighters, cops, nurses, doctors, social workers, soldiers.
It embodies the entire front line.
It embodies the entire front line. So I can't say a male-dominated field, but it seems to be universal throughout the whole front line that we tend to not really talk so much about mental health. As a lot of people know, we deal with a lot of high stress situations in all these fields, and we just kind of move on, So that was kind of where the project started. It was moving towards that. It became more of a movement, and kind of touching on the mental health part. Throughout the project, me personally, I dealt with a lot of really dark times, I guess I would say. Times where I felt defeated, times where I felt like the project wasn't going to come out or I wasn't going to put it out or what was the point. And as they put before, we were on the same shift at one point, right? So
Yep.
we tended to spend, the 3 of us, a lot of time together, talking about many different topics. For me, these 2 were very instrumental in me even executing, following through and finishing, in the times where I felt like I wanted to give up. Just in general, not even with the project, but just in general, the weight got too heavy. These 2 kind of were the 2, especially, being that we kind of live at work, right? We spend nights at work. And so I can remember sitting, in the watch booth.
The watch booth.
Right. So for us, the watch booth is kind of where we sit during the day to make sure, we man the watch booth. We take the phone calls. If the public comes in, we deal with them that way. Right. So that's kind of where the watch booth comes in. Can you read?
Yeah, it says move recording to movie recording has been stopped automatically.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should we just keep rolling? Listen, if it's got to be audio only, then we give the listeners audio only for now. We have one angle right there. And, guys, we're just going to have to work with what we got.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But I'm glad that you talked about, our involvement, us holding conversations. So you kind of touched on it already, where the name The Watch Booth comes from. It's an area in the firehouse where we come together and basically start our shift and end our shift. A lot of our exchanging of reports happen there. when we respond to calls, a lot of our information's there. And as far as like just responding to calls, a lot of the things that we need are in that booth. And that's the gateway to the community and us. So if the community ever wants to interact with us, that's the hub. But more importantly, the watch booth has always been a place where us three specifically have gotten together and talked about life, family, marriage, politics, you name it, we discussed it all. And we thought that, it was so fitting that, it was this little place. And when I say like little place, it's a little cube, kind of similar to what we have going on here. Just this little area that we come and we call and we talk to each other, and kind of get everything off our shoulders. So we felt like it was fitting for our podcast because this is our watch booth and this is where we're gonna talk and really, express all our feelings. I mean, now we're forced to do this now because someone wanted to leave our shift.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now
But
we
I
don't
can
have
still-
we don't have a watch booth at work no more.
Yeah.
I can still work overtime and special
we
leagues.
get 15 minutes.
Every now and then.
We get,
Yeah,
we
you
get
guys are
maybe
you guys are
15
always in a
minutes.
rush.
Yeah. But to get back to kind of like what we were talking about, why we're here. And I mean, I'll speak for myself, but I'm sure Kyle can kind of feel where we're going. Jordan, I had you lead first because you're a big inspiration of why I'm here. And I imagine why we're here today.
This was your
project,
baby.
Right. Your project has inspired us to come out and talk about, our mental health on the job, to talk about what we go through on our job, and just to explain to people that, we may hold these public positions as a firefighter, but at the end of the day, we struggle just like you. You know what I mean? A big talking point of firefighters always, questioning, their downtime, their pay, and all this stuff. But we don't talk enough about what firefighters see every day on a daily basis, what they have to go through, and then dealing with the trauma that you deal with on the job and having to bring that back home, only to come back and
Do it again.
sign up for all that again.
It's a double entendre when I say it's one hell of a job.
Right. And you don't notice it. Like a lot of firefighters now, especially when you first start, you don't notice the trauma and the baggage you carry.
Till it starts spilling over in other areas.
Right. And you start seeing it. And first you question like, oh, I just had a bad day.
And some
go
people
home,
never actually. I think the fact that we are in an area where self-reflection therapy is like the new wave.
Right.
And being self-aware is being more socially acceptable. I think we reap the benefit of that. But the truth of the matter is sometimes you just go on about your day and the nature of the job. Sometimes you don't have time to process that last call because you got another one.
Right. But there is definitely that stigma, right? Because we
Yeah.
still, kind of like what Jordan said, this is a male dominant field.
yeah.
So there's that stigma like, oh, you're just going to tough it up,
suck
man
it
it
up,
out.
suck it up. Yeah.
Like, get over it. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
And especially with the things that and we'll touch on this, through other episodes in the future. But, the things that we've seen just in this year alone, it's not normal, Like for
This
people
year
to
was
not be able to
definitely-
find a way. And even with everything that we've been through this year, I still have had people to tell me, suck it up. Just move on. Just like,
This has been a
you-
heavy year. It's been a very heavy year.
so that's why I'm here. At least I can say personally, you inspired me with the project is being able to tell our side of the story and then to speak for those who don't maybe have voices or don't have an outlet
Right.
to feel like, hey, it's okay to talk about, look, I don't feel comfortable at work or, I'm stressed enough where I go home and I'm just not there. I'm not connected with my family or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, So that's really what got me here.
So I definitely second that. For me, I really took to the idea of highlighting and just bringing awareness. I just want to say first and foremost, if you know a first responder, a nurse, anybody who works in the medical field or anything of that nature, give them a hug. Tell them you love them. You can't imagine the things that they go through on the day to day, the stuff that they have to internalize and keep going. And so that obviously plays a part of why I'm here. But also, man, I came to have fun with my boys, man. We have some good conversations. And a lot of times, man, in the watch booth, the conversations aren't so heavy and dark, man. And so I look forward to that aspect as well.
I was gonna say most of the times in the watch,
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
conversations aren't heavy and dark.
No.
See, the thing that a lot of people don't get is that you don't on those downtimes. You know what you talked about. People do complain about the downtimes. On those downtimes, a lot of times that's our decompression time, right?
Right.
You know, a lot of good conversations, a lot of good self. I don't know what you call it, but within ourselves, right? Therapy comes from the watch booth, from the dinner table.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And we got rules, right? We don't talk about politics, religion, and all that stuff at the dinner table. We're not supposed to.
We're not
right?
supposed to, right? We're not.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to.
Maybe.
But, you know, every once in a while it happens. But
It seeps its way in.
Well, the news is always on, so
Yeah.
talk about the news.
you know, we get into a lot of I guess more of the healthy conversations in those spots, right? And so for me, I know you both said like my baby, my baby, my project, but I really don't look at it like that. The whole time that I've been kind of formulating all this stuff, I've been doing it with people, and I've been doing it for people. That's why there's a giving back aspect to the project, right? That's why there's the donation aspect to the project. But, outside of that, I feel like it's our baby, and when I say our, I don't mean just the three of us, even though, I do feel like a lot of what has come from it has been cultivated from the three of us. But I feel like there is no voice for us, right? So there's a project out called The Voice of the Heroes, right?
Oh man.
And it's Dirk and Lil Baby. And listen, I'm not here to diss nobody. I don't get into all that stuff, right? But what I will say is
Is that the joint that keeps coming up when I ask Google to play your project, and instead
probably the one.
it plays Real Heroes Don't Wear Capes by what's this dude's? It's his producer's name.
No.
Keep going. I'm gonna find it though, because it pisses me off every time I want to listen to your EP. This joint keeps coming up. I'm like, that's not the shit I want.
You got to put Chris Jordan in there. But no. Dirk and Lil Baby, two rappers. And I listen to their music a lot, but that got me tight because I get where they're coming from, right? I get it, but ultimately they're not speaking for the heroes.
The hero.
Right. So you got to think about it. You have music for everything, right? You got music for being in love. You got music for being depressed. You got music for trapping. You want to go out there and you want to do your thing. Trapping, right? You're a trapper. You got music for that. You got, if you're emo, you got music. If you're everything you could think of, you got music for. Mm-hmm. And I always thought about, like, for us, right? We don't have anything. We have literally what we have is and listen, I love country music.
Dirk
I
and Lil
listen
Baby?
I listen to country music, really. I love country music. I love everything. Being a musician.
The country music I listen to is damn, how's it go? This homegirl that just sang last night, Sunday Night Football, Carrie Underwood.
Oh, Carrie Underwood.
That's it, right? That country music? That's it, right? That little promo. How's it go?
Waiting all day
For a Sunday night. That's
listen
it. I'm
to-
like, whoa, this shit slaps.
Yeah,
I'm about to watch someone go off tonight.
I grew up on country music. Listen, my mom, that's all she listens to. So I listen to, I'm big on like Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, Dan and Shay. I listen to a lot of country music, but generally what we get is, generally what we get is a country song, right? That's not actually about what we do, but the video will have the video will have a soldier, or the video will have a firefighter, or the video will have a cop, and that'll be the extent of the tribute. Right? It's like, we love you, but it's a song about America, maybe, right?
Hey.
I always felt like we had nothing.
Yeah.
And so I, when I was doing the project, and you guys obviously were kind of helping me, formulate everything, it was more so about not only letting the public know, like, the stresses and the strains of what we do, but it's also kind of telling, the people that do this, like, I hear you, I see you. Yeah. We're here with you. And I'm gonna make something for you. And then it obviously just turned into what it turned into, which is a lot of stuff. But
I think that's one of the most underrated aspects too, and I find myself trying to mitigate that space, having a firsthand understanding. Like, I think a lot of people fail to realize there's a huge transition in coming from work, potentially seeing, what people don't understand is we encounter a lot of our patients multiple times, and whether you intend to or not, inadvertently, you develop a rapport. These people become people you know. You get used to them. We know them by their first and last name. We tell stories about them. We laugh and joke with them when we see them. And then one of them tragically dies or something. And you don't think about it up front, but in hindsight, that's one of your people. That's somebody you've interacted with almost every day or so, something like that, multiple days for the last 6 months to a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then they're gone. That takes a toll. On top of the fact that if you're any type of human being, just the loss of human life and the way that we encounter the loss of human life, it does something to you. And then you got to go home and turn it off, because who wants to drop that crap on their kids or their wife or whomever? You know what I mean?
Right. Like, how many times have you been like to one of those calls, like a traumatic call, and then like it happens, you finish up the call, the scene, you leave the scene, and then you turn around and you go right to another call.
oh,
Yeah.
You're talking about like processing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just zero time for processing, and I'm sure like in the hospital they go do the same thing, right? Like you turn one patient around, you go to another,
And it's
especially in the
tragedy
ED,
after
right?
tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
It's
they,
like
they definitely get
like it's just
slammed.
trauma after trauma after trauma, and people don't realize like, hey, you don't ever have that time to process. You watch Chicago Fire or what Chicago Med, whatever all these shows are nowadays. Like my wife watches all those shows.
my wife watches.
Yeah,
too.
and
She's big on it.
I'm not
and I
allowed
don't-
to watch those
I really
shows with
don't. I
people
used to.
'cause I pick them apart. I
Yeah.
pick them apart. I can't
Yeah.
help it.
It's easy.
Yo, I
It's
watch
easy.
them with her. And
Right.
listen,
I
the shows
can't
the
anymore,
shows are
but-
entertaining. I watch them with her.
They are. I
And-
mean,
and-
it's TV, right?
and
So
I
it's always
always-
entertaining. But
It's almost like I'd rather the job be like that. Like,
I mean, I wish
No,
I wish it was
in
as
some
simple
cases,
as that.
like, that looks so much easier
You know
than
what it is?
really is.
I mean, in some circles in our job, it runs like this, right? Where there's definitely a strong romantic aspect. I feel like all these shows always, at the end of the day, there's some strong romantic
You got to have a storyline.
plot line.
I mean, I love
But
you
like,
guys.
but that's the purpose of our podcast here, right? Is to kind of like our plot line, our story should be. I mean, every now and then we'll talk about whatever, but we're talking about what we go through. You know what I mean? There's no romantic love story gonna pop off in the middle of this. I mean, we might talk about Kyle's new love fantasy, of the week, but but other than that, we're really just talking about what firefighters go through every day, which brings me back to what we were talking about before. It's Metro Boomin. Metro Boomin has a whole album, a 13-song album. Not all heroes wear capes. And I'm gonna name.
We are not plugging this guy.
I'm gonna.
We're not plugging
too bad.
this guy.
Too bad it's happened.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna name every song. I'm gonna try to go by it very quickly, right? So, first track, 10 a.m. Save the World,
Wow.
featuring Gucci Mane. So their superhero that they chose was Gucci Mane. Then you got and I'm just gonna go through it because I don't want to spend too much time on this. But Overdue, Don't Come Out of the House. I'm just gonna let that one sit right there. Don't come out of the house. Dreamcatcher, Space Cadet, 10 Freaky Girls.
Oh.
I'm gonna remind all the listeners. this is
Isn't that on?
Not all heroes
isn't that
wear
on
capes.
8 Mile?
I don't know. I don't. Up to something. Only One, Lesbian.
Wow.
If you were curious on who's on that track, is Gunna and Young Thug.
Okay.
Borrowed Love, Only You, No More, and No Complaints. It's the bonus last album with Offset and Drake.
Wow.
So and the reason why I just,
Star-studded cast.
no, I'm not gonna lie. The
None
album
of which
is fire.
have risked their life to save anybody's life.
But right, it's like, damn, it's tough to see that title because this is the album that I tell you every time I try to play yours, this stupid album comes on, and it's just a totally different mood that I'm in, and this starts coming in, and I'm like, damn, this is not what I want to listen to.
Well, I do want to switch gears because I do believe there is somebody I want to highlight. So I'm reading this headline. This is definitely frontline worthy. We're going to give him Hero of the Day. It says a hero taxi driver locks a terror suspect in a car before blast outside Liverpool hospital. I definitely want to dig into this. Let's see what this says. All right. British. Oh, it's my brother from Britain.
Oh, jeez.
From London, England.
My man's
He's
been waiting
British.
for this moment.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm going to read it all in a British accent. No, just kidding. It says a British taxi driver is being hailed as a hero after he locked a suspect terrorist in his car just seconds before a bomb exploded outside a Liverpool hospital. I got to see what this is all about. The male suspect was the only person killed after his improvised explosive device detonated inside the driver David Perry's taxi outside Liverpool Women's Hospital on Sunday, authorities said. So let me get this straight. My man pulled the L switcheroo. He had a bomb in the car. My man must have got the drop on him, locked him in the car. Isn't there a movie that ended like that?
It's got to be Liam Neeson movie.
No,
Yo,
it was a law-abiding citizen with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, yeah.
My man was doing all that slick stuff, and he tricked him with this is beautiful stuff. All right, British police said Monday they were treating the blast as terrorist incident. Surveillance footage obtained by The Sun showed Perry's taxi pulling up outside the hospital entrance after he picked up the suspect about 10 minutes away. The bomb exploded before the car had even come to a complete stop. Holy crap! What time?
So
was
I think
that?
they caught a picture of it,
I'm
but
trying
it's
to-
crazy because Metro Boomin caught it
Oh, it's a video.
back in-
Holy crap!
back in 2018. He got a picture of it. His album art. I don't know if you ever seen it. His album art is literally a guy in front of a ball of fire flying away. So this is a picture of what happened over in Liverpool. It's just weird.
Oh man, look at how that just synchronized.
That just
That's
this is
perfect.
weird.
So I don't see this guy's name, man. I want to shout this guy out, man. That was some quick on your feet thinking. Let's see if I can see his name.
You know, and that brings me to a point, right? Even though the project was created for frontline workers, right? I tried to make it mostly, if you listen to it, there's two songs. I mean, listen right there. There's the first song, Real Heroes Don't Wear Capes.
Yep.
And then there's Who's Gonna Save Me. Those are probably the two that are most specific songs, right? The rest of the songs don't necessarily talk that much about. I mean, Frontlines does, but you could be.
So does Cry.
It does. It because it's me telling a story through my lens, right? It's me telling our story through my lens, right? But ultimately, I tried to make it so universal, right, that lay people could relate as well,
Yeah.
right? Even heroes don't wear capes. I'm talking about what we do, but somebody's hero could have been their mom, a single mom,
Yeah.
right? And in their story, that could have been the hero. It could have been a kid that was getting bullied at school, and in their story, that was the hero in their story. Like, this kid stopped me from getting bullied every day, right? And so when you brought up this taxi driver from Liverpool, right?
David Perry. Shout out to David Perry.
He was the hero in that story, right? Which brings me way back to the deeper root of everything that, I wanted to talk about, is that we're just regular people,
Yep.
right? This is just our job. Our job is to do stuff that normal people probably should. No human should have to do what we do,
Yeah.
but we do it, right? So we're just regular people, just like everybody else. We talk about religion, we talk about politics, we like sports. We're trying to figure out how we can set ourselves up and our families up for the future through investments.
Right. We hustle for money just like everyone else, trying to figure out how can we set up our family.
Shout out to those trying to establish that legacy.
Oh, wow.
Right. That was good. I like that. I like how you just took that over too. I should give you the board. We're gonna
I'm just
we're gonna
saying.
program some nice stuff into
Yeah, we're
this.
going to figure out the board as
I'm
time
just
goes
saying.
on.
But we're just human beings, right? And so with the mental health aspect, right, that was what that came from, is we're just regular people. So we feel. Even though it may seem like we don't feel, we feel. We have sick sense of humor, and people might hear stuff that we say and think that we're.
That's a defense mechanism, though.
It is. It is, but people don't understand that. But if I was a layperson and I heard people say some of the stuff that we say, I would be like,
It'd be
wow, that's
offended.
really insensitive. Do I really want that person responding?
But I think that goes back to the point of everything that we're saying. It's hard for us not to be defined by our job. Most people, most people that know me, just know me until they find out I'm a firefighter. And then it becomes, that's their lead in. Like, oh, he's a firefighter. That's the first thing they introduce me as. Never mind, you've known me for 20 years. I've done 100 other things.
Right.
Now I'm just a firefighter.
Well, that goes on with just like life in general, right? If you think about it, everyone's a product of their environment, right? Yeah. How many times you see stories where people don't know better because that's all they knew. Yeah. The one that always comes to mind, and this is a sensitive topic to everyone because of animals and stuff, but the Michael Vick story, right? If you think back at that story with the dog killing, he had no idea that was wrong because when he grew up from that was normal. Yeah. Even in my culture, in my Spanish culture, cockfighting is normal. Rooster fighting, if you can't be mature enough, but then that's normal. That's normal. You know what I mean? And a lot of the time we don't know that that's wrong, and a lot of people come out like, well, how do you not know it's not wrong to hurt a dog? Or like you telling me since I was a kid, that was normalized to me. So, and it's not to excuse these actions, right? Because when you're able to step back and really look and evolve from these things,
right,
you're able to understand, okay, that is insensitive. You know what I mean? That is wrong. Yeah. I can understand why that would offend people. Yeah. And that goes back to kind of like what you said, like a lot of the time where we talk and trying to like dissolve the things that we go through, the way that we go through it, and like if I come home, and that's why I don't go home and talk to my wife about work, because we go through it so many times. Yeah. Like, how do I explain to people? We see people like when you overdose, they try to explain to you that. Not that they try to explain to you. What I'm trying to say is, so when you overdose, you're like on the doorsteps of death. Yeah. A lot of people understand that, but maybe not everybody does. Yeah. And what other people may not understand is we see that every day, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a day. So you're talking about you see a human almost die 4 times a day. How many times you guys recovered someone who was gasping for their last breath? Yeah. Turning blue. Yep. Bad. He looks dead. Yeah. We get him back to life. Yep. Multiple times in a shift. That's not normal, but we normalize that. Yeah. We talk about it. Yo, this guy, man. Yeah. How many times do we talk about it like, yo, this guy's got, like, this freaking guy.
Yeah.
You have to.
But you have to. Here's the thing. Because there's no other outlet.
And I had a self-reflection about that. I'll say this because I got to a point where at one point where it was, we have people that we've revived multiple times. So I'm like, why the hell would this guy do this again? And it wasn't until I think the last call where I think like there was somebody's stepdaughter there. She's having a fit. And it dawned on me, right? I was getting so mad at these people until I realized they're the only ones who don't know how serious it is. When we revive them, they don't know that they were dead. Right. So they do it again because they don't get the gravity.
They get mad at you for
they get mad.
You ruined their high.
Yeah. So I watched this dude wake up and he's flipping out. He's cursing out his stepdaughter like, why you call all these people? He's going off. And I'm like, the nerve of this guy until I realized she knows what happened because she saw him, but he didn't see him.
Well, it's that denial, right? How many times do we recover someone from using?
And they're like, I wasn't doing it.
I wasn't overdosed. What are you talking about? I was fine the whole time. Yeah. And they're like, no, dog, you were just about
but
dead.
It's because they have no idea. We know, and that's why we're upset.
But the crazy thing is that's so serious, and that's one of the, I don't want to say least serious things that we deal with, right? Because it's a very serious thing, but on the scale,
if we had a trauma scale,
if you had a trauma scale of calls
that would rate pretty low.
That would rate low on a trauma scale,
and that's probably because we deal with it so much. Yeah, so much.
Right. So you have to you got to realize when you're dealing with someone who's a first responder or a nurse or whatever, right? You have to, if you're a person that just is in their life that loves them, you have to realize that these are definitely trauma responses, because if you have to, as the person who's dealing with that, if you have to acknowledge what you just dealt with, right? You got to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you
might
don't
not
want
get a
to.
chance.
You don't want to acknowledge it because if you acknowledge it, then you have to accept what you dealt with. You have to accept that it actually affects you, right? So we make jokes sometimes about stuff that we deal with that you shouldn't make a joke about. But if you don't joke about it, then you have to actually acknowledge it.
And what's crazy is if you dig even deeper into this, their struggle, their problems with addiction, their fight with addiction, is no different than a lot of normal people. It's just in a different form, right? We don't talk about how, right? So a lot of the times it's an opiate, right? A lot of times it's heroin or different kind of things that people deal with on the streets. But we're not talking about the legal substances as far as like alcohol. You drink alcohol.
Exactly.
How many times we go through something, and I know us three, we could talk about it. How many times you go through something and you're like, yo, let me open that handle real quick. Let me get a glass. Today has been
I
a
just
day.
came off of a hiatus for that very reason.
Yo, so it's like that's
Did we break
a
our hiatus?
No, I broke my hiatus.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad we weren't responsible for that.
I purchased Coquito.
whoa,
that's a
Coquito
plus.
can't be. You can't
That's
put our
not
people
really-
irresponsible of your hiatus.
Not
No,
really
that
a
was
hiatus.
just- that was just my
That's not really
substance of
breaking a
choice.
hiatus. That's not really. I mean,
It's not.
Will you
kind of.
drink
It's
the
still-
whole
It's a
bottle?
treat.
Let me stop.
It's a treat.
It's a delectable
My man said he
treat.
almost had a whole bottle.
Yeah, that's
last
the
night.
problem.
That's the
That's the
problem.
problem.
That's
First
the
of all,
problem.
it's
We're
like
gonna need you-
drinking milkshake. First of all,
we're gonna need you to go get some help.
All
for
right,
that. That's the
it was-
problem.
It's
it
still pretty
milkshake.
strong. I had the same
It's like-
same
that
batch
stuff
you
is not
had.
It's like a spiked
strong.
milkshake.
it was like milkshake.
Stop it.
It
Yo,
was-
did you
and,
used
and
to
to be
chill?
honest with you, after what we endured yesterday, we were borderline due for milkshakes anyway. So that fit
Oh
the bill.
God, yeah.
Did you used to chill in New York ever?
What you mean?
Like,
Yeah, I spent a lot of
right,
time in
right.
New York.
So,
my
so,
brothers was in New York.
so you then you remember, nutcrackers. No,
Yes.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you know.
he don't know.
I know.
nutcrackers.
I'm not even from New York. I know about it.
They might not call it that. What
They call them nutcrackers. It's,
No,
there's
that's
only
what it
one
is.
name for it. It's nutcrackers.
What is
That's
a
what it
nutcracker?
is.
It's a lick. They take. It's almost like a base head juice, right?
Yeah.
They spike it with all the wildest stuff. It's like it tastes so phenomenal.
Oh no, where I'm
And-
from, they call that jungle juice. In fact, it doesn't
But
even
I'm not
taste
talking
like
about where
jungle
you're
juice,
from.
though.
Yeah, I'm not talking about where you're from. I'm talking about
Sorry.
where they're from. Who created it?
Oh.
Because New York is the
I
mecca.
can't even get my sip in there because jungle juice sucks now because it's been adopted.
Jungle juice
I'm gonna
sucked
as PC as I can
always.
be. It's been adopted.
And bastardized?
I went to WestCon and they adopted it, and jungle juice has never been the same for me.
Wow.
All right, so it's not like what we grew up on.
I had
on
hood
what
jungle
we
juice,
thought. Exactly.
so-
See, but it's not. It's
I'm
not.
just
That's
saying.
not that. That's not that. So what he's talking about is totally different
Oh
from
man,
what we had.
these things are phenomenal, but it's like a treat. But it creeps up on you.
Oh. Yeah,
You could
here's
drink-
the
you could
thing.
drink- you
That
could drink a
Coquito
couple
never creeped up on me. It just was a treat.
Oh, stop.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
stop.
it definitely crept.
It did not. It 100% did.
So then you have a problem.
Wow.
you might have a problem.
Wow.
Yeah, we gotta-
Maybe.
See,
Hey,
and that's
maybe.
that's an addiction I'm talking about. Like, we deal with all these people on the street. We might have to deal with you next.
Yeah.
In a more legalized fashion.
Are you gonna come? Are you
You
gonna
have a
come
problem.
Narcan me?
You have a problem. Well, that won't work, but I could, but that won't work.
I'll kindly wake up like I didn't do anything. I swear.
So, just to get back on track here, guys. So we talked a little bit, a glimpse of what
Dark
we
humor.
do, maybe a little bit of dark humor. But we talked about a little bit what we do. How about let's talk about what's the goal of this podcast? I mean, we touched upon it a little bit, right? But what can we say to the listeners or anybody that's listening right now? What to expect? Like, why are we doing this?
Don't
in
expect it to
this
be
way?
heavy.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say this is probably one of our heavier episodes. This is definitely gonna be lighter episodes. I mean, to be honest with you, we want to touch on a wide array of things. Like I'm into health and fitness. Obviously, I like fights. You guys like sports.
Right.
Into health
I'm-
and fitness too.
Yeah.
I'm into health and fitness too.
You're into sports. That counts.
That's health and fitness technically.
that counts.
I want that on the record that I'm into health and
He's
fitness.
into health and fitness. We're all into health and fitness.
Hold on, it's on the record.
Oh, okay, great. At least it's not. What? I have another sound that we can add to the board later.
Right.
But yeah. So, but I'm the sports guy. We all relatively like music, and obviously that's a big inspiration why we're here. But pop culture, things that happen,
And awareness. Always awareness.
awareness is priority.
Yeah.
Bringing awareness to our job,
Awareness
things that we
is
go
gonna be-
through.
And you know
So-
what? I also want to take the opportunity to enlighten people on certain things that they should know or things that they should do to kind of make our jobs easier.
Right.
Because I realize the general population may or may not be educated to these things, and again, we have to go beyond ourselves to realize like we have to moderate our expectations to the information that's been presented. So, tip of the day: when you have an emergency medical vehicle, lights and sirens flying behind you, please pull to the right. Don't pull to the left. Don't just stop and throw on your hazards. Pull to the right.
Is
And,
this
and stop.
is
That-
this
stop it.
is this do we just come up with a thing?
Is
Tip,
that
tip of the day?
tip of the day?
Yo,
that
bro,
might be a thing,
bro.
now.
This is mandatory.
Is this gonna be a tip of the day related to the job, or is it just gonna be
Yes,
a tip of
yes.
the day?
Yes.
It's a tip of day.
This
It's
is
the
called
tip
the
of
please and thank you.
tip of the day to the layperson when dealing with
First
First
responder.
responders.
tip of the, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So-
that's good.
so guys,
I had one, but I'm gonna wait. on
We
mine.
You
could
have to
double
keep
dip.
it. No,
I gotta
We could
keep it.
double dip.
no, we don't want to blow our
I
load
gotta
all
keep
in
it
one
in. Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Oh, trust
then
me.
we have no more tip of
We
the
could
day.
do this like dude, there's plenty of
We have
tips.
no more tips of the day.
So let me come back here. So as far as the podcast, right? So we want to talk about bringing awareness. That's our priority, right? Bringing awareness to our jobs, things that we go through, and how we're just like normal people. We also want to bring people in this kind of field onto the show as well through interviews. So other people like nurses, doctors, we touched upon it before, social care workers, you name it.
I really want to focus, and I really want to focus that. Obviously, we can focus it on just frontline workers, but I really want to focus that on frontline workers who have like businesses and things that they're doing, because I think it's important to highlight that you just said it. We're regular people, right? So this isn't all we do.
Right.
This is not the only thing we do. We don't just. There's some people who live, breathe, eat, sleep. That's all they do.
Right.
Right.
It's just firefighting.
I mean, there's
24/7.
We know. I'm
They be
sure
on
we
that
all-
that Facebook page. We all know what we're talking about. That Facebook.
Listen, I know
page.
firefighters who sleep with a radio scanner on. They
Never.
always know when there's a
Never.
fire, but that's not us, right?
Never. No.
So I think an important line to say is right.
Yes.
This is not a firefighter podcast. It's just a podcast with some firefighters,
That's it.
right?
That's it. You might have to give him the board.
I think if we have a tagline, that's the tagline.
Yeah.
I'm
all for it.
Will we talk about fire tactics? Maybe, possibly.
Probably not.
More than
Well,
likely.
you know
not.
what though? I'm
Depending
thinking
on-
like if we recently go through a job, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we have to define. First of all, I realized through not so happy circumstances that we have to clarify certain terminology.
Oh,
so a
yes.
job is in
Job
reference
is,
to a house fire, a structure fire, when we actually have something burning and we got to put it out.
Jobtown, USA.
Yap down.
Yap town.
Yap down.
Listen, and we
That's
may
what Sparkies will ever get. All
we
right,
may
don't mistake.
we may bring somebody up here
Yeah.
that has a business
Yep.
that focuses on. I have somebody in mind that focuses on firefighter tactics.
All right.
Right. We may talk about that.
How about
Would he
how about
happen to be a chief?
How many firefighters we work with today on our job that they're not just firefighters, but they have their own businesses on the side too. And a lot of people like it's funny enough that I saw a Shark Tank episode recently, and they have this service where you can, they were pitching a service that you can go on the app saying, I need help to hang a frame.
I know somebody who just launched that
to
app
hang
like
a frame. And you can hire firefighters because firefighters are people you could trust, right? Because they're from your community. A lot of the time they're from where you come from.
that. Nice.
Yeah,
You
right.
need help to
And you
hang
can
a
hold them
frame?
accountable.
It's that's the example they gave. It was other examples too, like plumbing, construction work,
Definitely
which
help
we
with
do.
Plumbing.
Oh wow, okay.
Didn't we say something earlier about if you're mature enough to take something you said?
Yeah, well, no, that was like a segment ago. Stop bringing up old stuff.
So, but our platform here that we're trying to create is not only to bring awareness, but to also put people up and to again remind listeners who are not in the field that we're just like you.
Mm-hmm.
We're just everyday people trying to make ends meet.
That's it.
Trying to keep our spouses happy. You know, trying
That's
to
it.
make sure our kids are in a successful or your best interest in you know, happy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
I
you know,
just wanna
we go
get
through
Joe
the
Rogan on
same
the show.
exact things that everybody else does.
If you want Joe Rogan on the
just
show,
wanna get Joe Rogan
he'll be
on
on
the
the show.
No, instead of us going to Joe Rogan,
Yeah, I
we'll
want
be
him
like,
to
Joe
come.
Rogan, no, you coming to
Yeah,
our
that's the
show.
thing. I want Joe Rogan on the
Yes.
show.
He'll come.
Yes, and then you're gonna give me all the secrets you gave Aaron Rodgers.
If you
I just want to show Joe Rogan
I'm
and show
kidding,
me
he
his
was-
spinning back kick.
I'm kidding. I wouldn't.
if
I wouldn't.
you build it, they
they
will
will come.
That's it.
I'm with
That's
it.
it.
So
And
let
coming
it
is
let
what
it
I
be
love to
known. Let it be known. My goals will be. Oh my gosh.
All right, I had to get one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I picked two children
Yeah.
to do this podcast.
Well, if you couldn't tell by my voice pitch, this is what this is the type of fire. This is the type of fire I'm going to be bringing to the podcast. All right.
Listen, you know, at the end, I think at the end of the day, it's really important to stress that we're just regular people, you know, and I think that
We're just ordinary people.
exactly. Are you supposed to be singing?
I don't think you're
Probably
supposed to
not, but at
be.
this
Actually,
point,
I think there's a doctor's order saying you shouldn't be
yeah,
singing.
all those rules have been broken, guys. Come on.
What, you're drinking iced tea. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but that's super sugary. So
But yeah, you know, I think obviously as we go on and doing a podcast, and as we, you know, mature, I suppose as a
Always maturing.
I don't mean us maturing as humans. I mean our
No,
podcast
the show, I
maturing.
got
to
you.
Right.
the-
Like us figuring out our groove.
Right. You know, we'll talk about everything. We'll talk about investing. We'll talk about sports. We'll talk about
absolutely.
We'll talk about everything that normal people talk about.
I definitely want to highlight applicable skills and transferable skills, things like that, like things that bring value to people's lives, education. You know, I dibble and dabble in a lot of stuff. You know, I do hunting and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to have some stories for you guys.
You talking about the hunting you wanted to do earlier when the bird shot on your windshield?
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Is that the the hunting you were talking about? Because what hunting does his brother do other than wanting to kill birds?
I am a man of
that
many
shit on
talents.
your car.
I am a man of many talents.
I don't know of
Okay.
those talents.
All right. I am a man of many talents.
But yeah, we could talk about
Did he
that.
He didn't invite you on his hunting trip?
He's never invited me on
He
this.
doesn't even
You know
like
what?
guns.
Matter of fact, I think he's only on this hunting trip because he's a Dexter fan, and the first episode of the hunt of Dexter
Wow.
was just him about hunting. Not him about hunting, but yeah, if you saw the new episode of Dexter, it's about.
I haven't seen
it's
it
about
yet. Don't ruin it. I'm going
I
through
ruined
all
nothing.
the old episodes.
I ruined nothing, and I'm disappointed that you're a fan.
I'm refreshing.
I vividly remember being on the third division.
He still
That was
hasn't
months
finished it
ago. I absolutely did,
still
but I'm
haven't finished it?
refreshing.
again.
I'm refreshing. I have somebody.
He's rewatching.
I have somebody who I'm putting on to Dexter.
Oh, brother.
He's rewatching the episodes
Absolutely.
that he
First of all,
already watched.
Dexter is probably one of the greatest series ever made. Okay.
I don't
So
have a
you're
soundboard, but I'm
rewatching
gonna
episodes
play
that you already
sound.
watched and rewatched,
Yep.
and now you're
So that I can be
rewatching them.
prepared because I want my anticipation to watch the new episodes, and I really want to wait till all the episodes are released because I like to binge watch and I don't want to wait for episodes. And lately, streaming services have only been releasing like 1 or 2 episodes a week, which sucks. So I'm buying time.
So you're not
I missed it.
watching Dexter until the whole season is done.
Yes. Does that bother you?
So
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
so we're
I'm just saying. How you into Dexter and you're not caught up?
Because I told you I'm putting somebody on to Dexter, so we're starting from the beginning. And by the time we finish, all the new episodes
Oh,
should
isn't
be
there
fully
like
released.
12
so
And
we
I
don't have to
thought I'd
wait.
be able to talk to you about this.
there's like 12 seasons.
It's like 8.
So
first of all,
we're not
nobody
supposed-
watches. If you know anything about Dexter, here's what you don't do. You don't watch season 8, and if you do watch season 8, don't watch the last episode. That's what you don't do. Okay, so you
That
watch
whole
1 through
season was
7.
bad.
Yo,
That whole
season
season was
8
bad.
was such a letdown,
So
but
bad.
it was such an amazing series that you give them a pass. I watched it once. I've never watched it again. 1 through 7. I'm probably on my 5th time through. True story.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to watch the new stuff. And I'm hoping, here's the other thing. I'm kind of hesitant because I'm hoping the new stuff doesn't let me down. So I'm going to soak up all the old stuff and hope that that gives me such a high that I can enjoy the new stuff.
All right. Well, I won't.
But what if the new stuff is trash?
I will be heartbroken. But I know that I have the old stuff to depend on.
Well, I saw episode 1 and I won't say anything.
Please and thank
Leave it
you.
at that. But when are you gonna watch it? Like two years from now?
No.
Like, are we gonna be able to talk about?
It's got to
this
be at
work?
least 3 months.
Okay, here's what I'll do then.
Garbage.
For your sake,
Garbage.
I'll go ahead and watch the new season on my own.
Yeah, and then rewatch it. It's not like you haven't rewatched.
Yeah, because
Dexter
wow,
before in
yeah,
your life.
wow, you are very vitriolic today. What is going on?
Listen,
I don't
you
see
saying big words I don't understand,
anything.
so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. Help me with my sale.
Oh man.
All right, guys. So
All right.
as we approach the end of the podcast, let's maybe round up with some good notes and talk about the last things we want to maybe plug from this podcast. Right, a couple of you guys have things that you're doing. We already touched up on Jordan, on some of the things you want to do, but Kyle, let's get into some of the personal things that you're doing right now.
So I just launched the I Am King Fitness. You can hit me up on Instagram at IamKing_1982. I Am King Fitness 1982 at gmail.com. Hit me up if you want to get your physical fitness goals met. I am an elite trainer, fitness coach, and nutritionist. I'm good at what I do. And I want to help you get good at what you do.
You want to show off your? I'm gonna give you this one moment.
no.
I'm gonna give him this one moment.
No, because you know what? You guys have already gave me enough crap about
I don't
it.
want to be around a naked man right now.
If you wanna-
I'm just saying.
if
I don't
you
want
wanna
to see it on my
if you wanna
Instagram.
if you
I don't
wanna
want to see your
yo,
abs on Instagram.
Then you know what? Unfollow. Okay.
I'm just saying. Well, can't you just send it to who you want to see it?
No, it's
just
for-
send it
it's-
to them.
I'm not
You
sure.
have her
I am
number.
King
Just send it to her.
_1982. You can see a meanest 6-pack you want to see. All right.
I'm gonna have to talk to your girl. I'm like, can you tell him? Can you talk to him?
Good luck.
Can you talk to him?
Good luck.
There should be behind closed
Seek
doors.
and you will not find.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah, no. Advertisement is everything. I need people to know that I actually live what I speak.
Yeah.
I also will be dropping fitness tips for our listeners and nutritional guidelines and things of that nature. Because,
Right.
you know, I want the world to be healthy,
Word.
you know.
I'm with you.
And I feel like a lot of people don't reach their goals simply because they don't know how. And that's a terrible place to be. The information is available. Seek and you shall find. I
Right.
got your back.
Word. Jordan, what are you working on this week?
This week I'm going to be, this podcast may come out after, but hopefully it does come out after. So everything that I'm telling you,
Would have already
you can
happened.
would have already happened, and you can just write what I'm saying. But this week I will be dropping the cinematic trailer to the project Real Heroes Don't Wear Capes. There will be, in the months coming up, there'll be follow-up videos for the songs that are on the project. I'll be dropping a website, No Capes, www.nocapescampaign.com. That's going to be coming out.
Tell them about the merch, bro.
Can I get to it real quick?
I'm impatient. I'm impatient. I'm
He is
impatient.
No Capes campaign will the website will show there's a donation platform up there to help us keep this project going. We obviously will have our own personal donation platform where we donate to different organizations that's missions are in line with ours. If you're looking to purchase merchandise and you don't want to go to nocapescampaign.com, you can also go to nocapesclothing.com. We have hoodies, hats, shirts, t-shirts, sweats,
name it.
shorts,
We got it.
Clearly, I didn't get the memo because I don't have a hoodie.
phone cases.
Messed up.
Everything you need, we got there.
I don't got a phone case for my phone.
Again, through everything we do, there's going to be some form of a donation aspect to it. whatever monetary means come from anything, even the podcast. We're going to figure out how to donate to organizations that really put some actions to the awareness. But yeah, so if you want to stream the project, it's
Where can you stream it from?
you can stream it from anywhere you want to. iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal,
Spotify
YouTube
be
Music.
acting funny.
Maybe just on your phone.
Listen, I'm a basic
Possibly.
guy. I use YouTube Music.
Amazon
Very basic.
Music.
Nice.
Beautiful thing.
My
Beautiful
daughter
thing.
asked me. My daughter said
Pandora be weird, too.
Yeah, Pandora. My daughter said something about Deezer. It's up
These
there.
are not. Yeah, that's for the. I think the music audiophiles.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. It's everywhere. The project is Chris Jordan. Real Heroes Don't Wear Capes. Chris Jordan
frontline
obviously is
story.
my stage name. Yeah.
If you need to find it specifically, because I have it in front of me, and it is sometimes hard to navigate to find because I keep finding that Metro Boomin album.
Yeah, don't look
Do
for
not
Metro
do the
Boomin.
Metro Boomin.
Don't look
I'm
for
mad
Metro
that we
Boomin.
even gave
not
that much
saying that-
acknowledgement
I'm
to
sorry.
Metro Boomin.
I'm not
sorry.
saying don't listen to Metro Boomin. I'm just saying
I'm just
Like,
saying,
whatever,
don't listen to
but-
Metro Boomin and not listen to Chris Jordan.
Right. So it's Real Heroes Don't Wear Capes, a frontline story.
Except
So
for if it's a dude.
that's what you want to look. It's a 5-track album
real-
or EP.
do not wear your cape out. If you're wearing a do-rag, don't wear your cape out.
Yo, you could wear
You're not
your
a real
cape
hero.
out. Do what you want.
that is a
Alright?
cape though, right?
That's a cape.
The
Do
do
what
rag
you
is a
want.
cape.
The cape on the do-rag?
Yeah.
Nah,
I'm
we
a
don't
real
wear that.
hero and I wear capes.
He be wearing his cape.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
have
saying.
I'm gonna have to question his heroicism.
Hey, listen, man. Yeah, my heroism is top notch.
Okay.
And all I'm gonna say is, and maybe I'll just end on this: is I don't have to wear a do rag.
Wow.
Don't have to do that. Yeah. So we're gonna end on that note, guys. Everyone, females, whatever, listeners. Thank you for listening to us this week.
This is our plane driver episode.
Plane Driver,
Volume 2.
our pilot episode. This
Same
is
thing.
episode 1 or episode 001.
This is 1.5.
We had 2 shots at it. You guys don't know the first shot that happened 7 years ago, but
7 years.
it happened a long time ago.
Yeah, I concur. It's roughly about that amount of time. I won't discrep it.
But either way, guys, thank you for joining us today.
We
Please.
appreciate you.
Please, wherever you can reach us, give us some feedback. Let us know how you like this episode, and we'll be back with you in another week.
And remember, Watch Booth. It's a podcast with firefighters, not about firefighters.
He butchered it, but I respect it.
But it sounded
Hit the
so
out-
good.
Hit the outro.
It sounded so good.
What's the outro? Yeah. I thought it was longer.
Nah, that's it.
All right. Cut it.
We out.
Me and my dogs on the front line. Me and my dogs on the front line. Be at your door when it's crunch time. Look, we at your door when it's crunch time. Risking it all to ease your mind. This all to ease your mind. This ain't a game, this is wartime. Look, homie, this wartime, yeah.